In the 55, 57 minutes that I've had off since Get Up, that I'm going to be much calmer in this debate. And if I took it over the top on Get Up, I apologize to you.
No,
you know, it's all in good fun.
my brother.
You know, it's all in
no
good
apologies.
fun.
It's all in fun, man. We just having a good time.
Better basketball
But that's you're making the assumption there that players today aren't better, aren't more skilled, aren't more advanced in sort of philosophical
fundamentally they're not as good.
Ideologies about basketball.
Fundamentally, they're not as good. Because back in those days, Tim Duncan played 4 years in college basketball. These guys don't play 4 years in college basketball. Fundamentally, not nearly as good as the days.
What game are you watching today, Chris? Honestly, what game are you watching?
You think anybody's
today?
better fundamental player than Larry Bird? You think anybody is a better fundamental player than Larry Bird?
You're bringing up a top 10 player of all time.
You're bringing up
I'm
the Golden
talking
State
about
Warriors.
the average NBA player.
Right, okay.
The average NBA player today, you're saying, is not more skilled than a player in the 80s.
So he's got better athlete.
Well, what are fundamentals then? Fundamentals are your
knowing how to
basic skill
play,
set.
get good shots, boxing out, taking what the defense gives you. All those things.
In the mid-range, I would, but Giannis shot over 42% from the mid-range this year, which is well above league average.
Oh, my God.
And Jimmy shot in the 20s and the threes from three for the last
First of all,
2
Jimmy
years.
Butler missed some time during the season. Let's take that into consideration. A lot of times,
what does it have to do with his shooting percentages? What does that? Jimmy Butler has basically decided to not shoot threes. Now he's knocking down threes somewhere in the 30s during the playoffs.
I'm not dismissing his numbers.
He's not deciding. He basically stopped shooting threes.
To the basket. That's an eye test thing. Numbers don't tell every story. Not every story.
I'm talking about mid-range pull-ups, mid-range turnarounds in the post. I'm not talking about three-point dare shots.
We can talk about that with Giannis too.
I'm trying to think of a time in the playoffs when I didn't see a contested mid-range shot from Giannis. I disagree with you on that. By the way,
go back
I'll
to
have the numbers for you by the second hour. Don't worry. By the second hour,
I'll
have
you'll bring me all the numbers. You'll bring me all the numbers, and I won't give a damn about the numbers because I actually watch the games too.
Last year in one of the games against Milwaukee, didn't he have 5 points in Game 5 against the Bucks and was awful in a game?
Okay.
If you are an NBA Hall of Famer,
what about the entire Lakers series where he couldn't shoot a basketball, physically couldn't raise his shoulder and arm above his head, and he gutted it out and beat the Lakers?
I give him. He did the good.
So does he get credit for that? Does he get credit for that?
Putting him on this level of the all-time greats. When you put him on the level of the all-time greats, you can't have these kind of games.
Is he an all-time great, JJ?
You can't put.
He's absolutely an all-time point guard.
He's an all-time great point guard.
Without
if
question.
he wins a championship, he's in the conversation for the greatest point guard ever. I'm not saying he's the
no, he's not. The greatest point guard. He's not Bob Cousy. He's not Bob Cousy.
Bob Cousy couldn't dribble with his left hand.
Bob Cousy changed the game. Chris Paul didn't change the game.
Bob Cousy won championships when there were 8 teams in the NBA and you had to win 2 playoff series.
Guys,
let's celebrate Bob Cousy in his era, but you can't compare pre-1980 with
yes, you can.
with the modern NBA. No, you cannot. Did you in the first hour? Did you hear when I talked about viewing this through an organizational standpoint and having to pay James Harden $60 million?
I just asked who fantastic players were.
There's a lot of fantastic players.
You name one person.
I'm not trying to slander James Harden. There's a big difference. There's a big difference. I'm saying he's a fantastic player.
Who else is?
There's 40 or 50 fantastic players in the NBA, and not all of them are on max contracts, and you know that. You know who else is a fantastic player? Chris Paul. Chris Paul's making 30. I think James Harden should make more than him, but he shouldn't be on a super max. No matter how much you fight this, it still doesn't make sense in your book. Calmer.